All right, guys, if you watched my last video, then you watched how we did the overseed to get the lawn to look how it's looking right now. And I think we take a lot of time and talk about the process, and we talk about the end result, but we never talk about that in between period of going from how it looked before to how it looks now. And I think it's kind of poetic that I get to talk with you guys about this on a day that it's been raining all day, and it finally just stopped, because the overseed journey from seeding to now was stressful. And I just want to talk about, one, how the germination process went, how long it took, and the stresses along the way. That's kind of a long run. I'm out of shape, man. Whew. This video is going to be on watching grass grow. This POA and a few other things are starting to turn this lime green color, like really light green. So usually it does that right before it starts to turn white. We can see in a couple areas to where it's already turning white. Like here, we're already getting a little bit of stuff turning white, whiting and everything. So whatever kind of weed this is. Now, the time frame in which it takes grass to germinate can vary on a lot of different things. It can vary on your soil condition, the soil temperatures, the fertilizer. It's not really a set time in which that seed will pop out the ground. You have a time frame, but that time frame it can move, it can vary. This seed here that I put down was a tall fescue. Tall fescue, typically it takes between 7 and 14 days to germinate. I've heard to where people have said they've seen a germination on tall fescue in as little as 5 days. And I've seen to where people have said it took it a whole 3 weeks or 21 days to germinate. But you can typically expect it to see it in 7 to 14. My experience, I see it in 10 to 14 days is where I normally will see that grass germinate and start to establish itself. Video here, we're at day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're at day 4. We're at day 4 today. We had a little bit of help with the watering yesterday. We had a very light rain last night. We had a windstorm. We'll let the dogs out. We had a windstorm and we got a very light rain with it. That kind of helped with the watering, keeping everything as moist as possible. Haven't had to run the sprinklers too much because it chilled down today. The high was in the 60s today, but I'm glad I decided to put a top dressing, because it looks like the seed is holding up and staying in the place where it needs to be. All right, guys, so this is day 5. It's Friday, day 5, and what we are looking at is looking to see if we have any germination at all. So looking here, this is where I'm primarily looking to see if we have germination, because we do have the test plot right here. You know, for the blackout, this is going to be 100% blackout once it's grown in. So we'll have a good look at that. But day 5, still no germination. Not expecting any at this point. But no germination at day 5. So you know, we'll keep on trucking. Not really expecting to see anything start sprouting until like day 10. Just being honest, you don't know it's going right until it's going right. And so, just for me at least, that period of waiting can be a little stressful, to where I'm just kind of wondering, like, is this working? All right, guys, we're out on day 6, and I'm just gonna take a look. I do think I'm starting to see a little bit of germination coming up. I keep saying that, but I'm just gonna default to the main area here to see if I see anything here. And not really seeing anything yet. So as you can see, the first week passed and things went essentially how you could expect it to go. there wasn't any germination being done during that first 7 days. Now, I did kind of have hope and kind of hold out to like maybe I'll get something in that 5-day mark that people have said they've seen. They haven't said it about this exact seed, but I've seen it about tall fescue to where people have said they've had germination in 5 days. So I kind of was hoping like maybe this will be the 5-day mark and I shall have 5-day germination. But that wasn't what happened. And so as I'm checking it every day, day 7, I don't have anything. Then day 8, overnight, I come out and I start to see these little bitty seedlings are coming out. And those little bitty seedlings was not like a great sign. It wasn't like, oh, this is it, this is working. It was more of just a good sign that things are progressing in the right way and that I didn't completely screw things up. So I knew that at that point I kind of had a little relief and that, okay, whew, things are starting to come together. So this is day 8. Day 8. Only place I'm seeing germination is here. Only place. On this whole plot, nothing else. All right, and that's just the start of it. So as these seedlings start to grow more and more, we're gonna have more and more of that little fuzz that they're gonna get bigger and bigger. And so headed into day 9, I did begin to worry because when I came back out on day 9, I didn't really see new seedlings start to happen. Keep in mind that at that time I was expecting full germination in 10 days, in 10 to 14 days, and we was on day 9. So at that point, I'm starting to wonder like if this is actually going to work or if some way I messed it up, I did something wrong. All right, so it's been 9 days and I'm getting a little nervous because there's not any germination happening at 9 days. And I'm starting to wonder if I messed up something or did something wrong, or maybe the temps weren't good enough. I'm not really sure, but as you can see behind me, we don't have anything going on at 9 days. So I'm kind of nervous, hoping that it pulls on through and I'm just wrong, but like look at the patches. I knew that we were expecting rains around that day 14, 15 mark, and it was gonna last about 2 to 3 days based on the forecast. So I was hoping to get more seed up quickly. Then overnight, between day 9 and day 10, we actually had rain come in. I mean, it was a pretty mild rain. It wasn't really as hard. It wasn't really hard or a thunderstorm. It was just kind of a mild rain, which I kind of looked at as a good thing. That meant that I didn't need to water as much, if at all, the next day. So I was like, it saves me a little bit on my water bill. Starting because at day 10 is when you should have germination starting. So let's take a look. So, oh man, I was getting a little nervous. We actually got some germination today. Small, but it's hyping me up because I know more is coming. And of course, the area that we are mainly running to look at. So this is how it looks as a whole. But as you zoom in, see those sprouts start coming up. Exactly what we wanted. Now I came out on day 10, I was really optimistic. We've had rain, it's day 10, and it's where it should be. And I could tell that the lawn was starting to transform. I was starting to see this kind of green haze over the big patches. And that green haze is where the little bitty seedlings are starting to pop up here and there, here and there. The seeds are coming out and they're making this like light green haze. You can't really see it from a distance, but if you come all the way in and get real close, then you can start to see that little green haze is actually little small seed. And so I could start to tell that the lawn is starting to flourish and it's starting to germinate and starting to get established the way that I wanted to. And then it happened. day 11, 12, 13, and the start of 14 was non-stop rain. It rained to the point that I couldn't go outside to even check my lawn without possibility of getting soaked. The rain was so bad that the National Weather Service actually issued a shelter-in-place warning during large parts of the day because there was a lot of flash flooding going on. A news stories being ran about neighbors who are saving their neighbors, who are saving pets, who are saving kids from the flooding, and the only thing I could think about was who was gonna save my grass seed. And we're out here. This is gonna be day 13. Now, this may look a little thinner than it is because as you kind of see here, it looks really thin, but as you go in close, you can see there's a lot of grass heads are starting to poke up here. Now, we don't need this to look forward now because this is gonna thicken out once these seed heads, they start to teal. Once the blades, they start to teal and become multiples, that's when it's gonna fill in. We don't need a billion little single sprouts. We just need a couple, and that's gonna fill in. So it's starting to look good. I do have a worry area, and that's here, this spot here. I'm not getting much of anything, which this is the main place I was concerned about, is here because it's right in front of the patio, right here. So what I did here was I put down a little more grass seed here, and I plan to continue to water another week because I feel like the germination is taking a little longer than normal. And you can see here that green haze is all the grass seed are starting to come in. But I came out and checked the lawn on day 14 for the brief time that I could, and I did see a little bit of progress. So like even here, you're starting to see a little bit of germination just now starting to happen, because even looking at like here, there wasn't anything here yesterday or 2 days ago. There wasn't anything here. Now we're starting to see sprouts. So a lot of this is just now starting to appear on day 13. I feel like it will fill in, but I feel like it's going to take a little longer than the 10 to 14 days that it traditionally would. And that may be because we're having a lot of overcast as far as the weather. But yeah, we also have areas down here. We're not getting anything right here. Just a 3 or 4 little blades here, and here I'm not getting anything there. So I am at this spot here. We're starting to see it to come in here. But there are some spots I am definitely worried about. I think are not gonna fill in on this overseed, which that's okay. That's okay. Whole point was to get this to a good place for the fall when I can eliminate all the weeds and do another overseed. But I just needed to get a little more grass back here this spring to make this usable during the summer. The summer heat is gonna tear this fescue up, but one thing that is great is that this whole backyard is mostly shaded. We get morning sun here. It's gonna have about 4 to 5 hours of sun in the morning, and then most of the day this will be shade and filtered sun. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Next, we had day 15 through day 22, which was non-stop flooding rains. May have noticed in the live footage of the day of I'm checking, I didn't talk about the rains at all. And that was because I was a little nervous on that me talking about the downside of spring overseeding would make the video keep you guys away from seeding. But in making this video, how I said in part 1 of this, is that I have to be honest, I have to be truthful and keep it all the way 100 with you guys. And the outcome still came out good. And I think a key thing that helped me still have this outcome is that I top dressed. In the fall, I do think you can get away at times without doing a top dressing, as long as you're watering enough to keeping that seed moist. But I think in the spring, when you're expecting these rains, when you know it's going to rain a lot more than it does in the fall, putting down that top dressing gives not only a way to retain moisture, but it also holds a lot of that seed in place. And I know that because if you guys watched the flower bed video where I took out the flower bed, I spread the soil from the flower bed on the side of the house where I also put down seed. And I top dressed it with a soil amendment just to hold it in place. And the area that I top dressed with the soil amendment, it actually held the seed in place, and we have a germination over there. We have the lawn over there, a lot more established than it was. It was just bare dirt. And the area that I didn't, you can see patches to where the water ran off, and it ran off a lot of seed, and it all clumped in one area to where it's extremely thick. The overall thing is that if you are doing a spring seeding, you want to make sure that you take precautions and that you are okay with the unexpected happening. You don't want to panic. That time from planting the seed to the time that you get your lawn established and you're able to reap the benefits of that hard work you put in can be a bit stressful. You don't want these outside factors to ruin the hard work and the plans that you had of being able to use your lawn and have a full lawn this summer or the next season. But you just have to roll with the flow and trust in the process, and trust in that you put down a quality seed, that you put it down how you should, and that everything is going to maintain, and that even in the worst case outcome, it still will transform your whole lawn even after the thunderstorms. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys for being here with me. I appreciate you guys for watching. The last video did great. I was aiming to get 10 likes, and when I'm making this video, it's actually at like 16 likes. So by all means, I'm thoroughly thankful for every one of you guys who commented or who liked or anything. And someone said that I look like Kanye West. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. All right, guys, until next time, I'm Lawncare P, and I'm out. Rain!